Silicon Valley International School is very proud to be a member of the International Baccalaureate, or IB for short. The IB's distinctive feature is its view that for students to be successful in an ever-changing world, they must have a wide range of skills, attributes, and abilities to take on new challenges. One of the most unique qualities of the IB is that it gathers together a worldwide community of educators who share a common belief that education can help build a better world. The primary years program, otherwise known as the PYP, focuses on our youngest learners ages 3 through 12. Founded on a philosophy that recognizes a child's natural curiosity, creativity, and ability to reflect, the PYP generates a stimulating, challenging learning environment to nurture those assets and foster a lifelong love of learning in every child. Simply put, the PYP considers the way children naturally learn and solve problems by providing a framework to teachers to create units of study and instructional practices in the classroom that embed these beliefs. For example, growing up, many of us remember sitting quietly in neat rows of desks while teachers presented content via lecture style. And we were left wondering if this has any relevance beyond memorizing what the teacher said so we could get a good grade on the next test. Or perhaps we asked ourselves how long until recess. In contrast, in a PYP classroom, students don't just download knowledge from teacher lectures on a certain topic. They instead learn to write as an author, investigate as a scientist, and analyze the past as a historian. What I really like about Silicon Valley International's PYP program is the respect we have for our students. Teachers do not see themselves as the sole source of knowledge. They see students as capable of participating actively in their own learning and encourage them to be curious, to truly wonder and imagine possibilities. And they do so in a hands-on way. For example, students craft their own stories, create their own science experiments, and conduct investigations using original documents and primary sources to understand a specific moment in history, ensuring they consider perspective and context as they build these deep and enduring understandings. The PYP, like all programs, is transdisciplinary, and this means that learning is not compartmentalized into discrete disciplines, but rather reflects how we learn in the real world. Students investigate big ideas like communities, systems, experimentations, and structures across traditional subject boundaries, thinking linguistically, analyzing scientifically, reconsidering mathematically, reflecting historically. And this type of teaching models the real world. For example, if faced with an engineering problem at work, you would not hesitate to draw on math, design, computer science, language, creative arts, or whatever strategy might help you. For a concrete example of how the PYP works at Silicon Valley International School, let's look at one of the overarching themes or big ideas our students explore across subject areas about the concept of structures. In third grade, our students explore this concept holistically, exploring traditional dwellings and homes of various indigenous groups cross-culturally. And beyond this, understanding social hierarchies, decision-making, and power in such communities. They may be experimenting with the 4 operations in math to build competencies in written calculation strategies, building grammatical skills in literacy, working with syntax, conjugation, tenses, character formation. In design and computer science, they may be building bridges and coding Lego We Do to withstand modeled seismic shock as they work through the design thinking process. And through all of this, students are closely guided by their teachers to understand the central idea that structures are developed in response to human needs. The PYP approach recognizes that it is not important to memorize the name of the indigenous tribe that built a certain type of dwelling. After all, you can easily look that up on your smartphone. Instead, students have the insight to understand a deeper concept, which they can then apply to any structure they might study or even design in the future. Throughout this process, students are encouraged to collaborate and learn from each other by asking meaningful questions, teaching one another, building on someone's idea. And this all mirrors the way that people solve problems in the real world. The PYP approach also gives students ownership over their own learning by giving them the freedom within a framework to explore what interests them and then to reflect on the way that they learn, focusing on how to improve or hone their own thinking strategies. Finally, the PYP framework allows students to become more invested in their learning by encouraging them to take action in the real world. For what is the purpose of learning if we do not apply new knowledge and skills in some way, great or small? To further illustrate the rich and deep understanding of structures developed in the 3rd grade, it does not end there. Our curriculum is intentionally and strategically sequenced. So, for example, in 4th grade, students practice empathy and problem-solving skills as they think about their understanding of structures in a new context, and they apply it to the real world, from designing a functional and effective refugee camp to examining the reasons that people have become refugees to begin with. In closing, students at Silicon Valley International School get a chance to engage with meaningful PYP concepts and develop a variety of skills that will allow them to provoke change and challenge the current thinking of our societies, prepared literally or figuratively to build a better world and be successful in whatever they choose to do.